Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
Well, the surprising Tigers continue to get it done late in ball games. They now have 5 walk-off wins this year. That is tied for the most in the American League. Last night, Jeimer Candelario delivered the latest 12th inning home run to beat the Cleveland Indians. This afternoon, it's a cloudy, overcast day, but we have baseball nonetheless. Final game featuring the Tigers and the Indians. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba alongside Rod Allen. Glad to have you with us. Tigers trying to win 2 out of 3 against the Tribe. And I will say one thing, Rod. Tigers play really good here at home, but those walk-off wins never get old.
They never get old. Excuse me. The Tigers have 5 of those this year. As you pointed out, they're never out of any game in this particular ballpark. And last night, Jeimer Candelario with a huge home run against a very good team here in Cleveland. They've kind of slowed down their big bats. They've kind of matched them pitch for pitch. They've matched their intensity. Now they have a chance to win a series.
And they've got Corey Kluber on the mound due the Indians today. There was a time where the Tigers really could not handle or did handle Corey Kluber. Things have kind of changed. Look at the first 11 games that Corey has pitched against the Tigers, an ERA of about 5. Well, in his last 12, he's gone 2.75 against the Tigers. He's really turned it up a notch.
Well, polar opposites. A 2-5 record in those first 11, 7-2 in the last 12. But let's take a look at how he was doing it in those first 3 years. He tried to overpower the Tigers with fastballs, and the Tigers had some good fastball hitting teams. Miggy absolutely owns him. He hits 383 against him, and Corey Kluber even said as much. But what did Corey Kluber do? In 15, he went to throwing more breaking balls, that cutter, and it's a deadly pitch for right-handers and left-handers, and that's how he's gone on to win 2 Cy Youngs. He is one of the best right-handers in our sport. We'll talk about that a little bit more here today. The Tigers most definitely have got their work cut out for them. Lloyd McClendon, I saw him in the clubhouse today. He was watching some video. I said, what are you watching that video for? You know exactly what Kluber's going to do. Tell your boys to pack a lunch and get ready for a long game, because he's going to be out there for 100 pitches. He had to laugh at that, too.
Well, hopefully the Tigers can ride the emotion from last night's win. Game 3 minutes away. After a short break, we'll go down to the Coliseum Studios, check in with John Keating. Coming up, Tigers hoping for another stellar performance. Fulmer was great in Game 1. Fire is good in Game 2. Artie Lewicki will have his chance here in Game 3. Tigers Tribe coming up next.
expectations of what a bank can be. Come to Comerica. And by Dodge, visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. John Keating, a quick pop back into the Call Sam studio. Tigers and Indians straight ahead. Here is your update. The Rally Goose is now 6-3 in games here at home. Tigers, meanwhile, are 3-6 this season against Cleveland. But get this, they now have a chance to win back-to-back series from the Indians after losing the previous 11 of those. You want to start your day with some juice. Well, maybe some of that carried over from last night's thrilling conclusion of the game between the Tigers and the Indians here. It was Candy's team-leading 10th homer of the season, and it's one that will be remembered for a while. Mario and Ron are next.
The Goose was loose last night. Tigers a walk-off win against the Indians. Final game in this series. Hardy Lewicki is on the mound for the Tigers here this afternoon, and Artie is presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
A tall task for Artie Lewicki here today, making his second start in the big leagues, going up against the Tribe. ERA not bad at 3.86. He's got a fastball that will probably top out at 93, 94. Got a really good curveball. Needs to make sure he works ahead in the count to give his team a chance to win in this ball game.
Changes in the Cleveland lineup today. It's presented by your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. For the Indians, Greg Allen will lead off. He'll play in center field. Then Brantley and Ramirez. Lindor has had a bad series, but he's batting cleanup today. You've got Alonso and Chisenhall, and a bottom three of Cabrera, Perez, and Gonzalez. And we are ready for baseball here this afternoon on a foggy, cloudy, cool day for baseball in the Motor City. It'll be Greg Allen leading things off against Artie Lewicki as we are just about ready for baseball today. Allen in the leadoff slot stands in and looks at ball one high from Lewicki. .244 batter this year. Started the year at AAA Columbus. Now Lewicki with the 1-0 pitch, and it's in there, a strike called.
Artie has all four pitches. He's got the fastball that will get up to about 94. We talked about that. He also used this slider about 23% of the time. He's got a curveball that he likes, and also an occasional changeup, mostly to left-handers.
Lewicki, 26 years old, native of New Jersey, was an 8th round pick in the 2014 draft out of Virginia. Here's the 1-2. Slap foul out of play. Allen in the series is 0 for 3. He's played all three outfield positions since being recalled from their AAA team. Has speed and has 1 home run this year. Swing and a miss, and Lewicki chewed him up there. Allen says he fouled it off, but he's not getting anything out of Johnson, the home plate umpire.
Good curveball spun there by Artie Lewicki. It's going to be a big pitch for him this afternoon. Oakland University brings you the Tigers starting defense, left to right, the same way they lined up in last night's contest. Jones, Martin, and Castellanos. Same thing in the infield with the exception of second base. They have Nico Goodrum occupying second today, and John Hicks behind the plate after James McCann caught the first 2 games of the series.
Michael Brantley looks at a strike. Brantley 3 out of 8 in the series. He has hit safely in 5 straight. Shifting to the right side defensively. Now the 0-1. Lewicki's first start came in the series in Boston. He lasted 3 2/3, allowing 4 runs, only 2 earned though. Threw a total of 71 in that ball game. The 0-2. Pulled on the ground to the right side. Sliding stop Goodrum to his feet, throws him out. Nice play by Nico.
And Tigers have really had their way against a couple of really good performers in this starting lineup for the Cleveland Indians. That would be Ramirez and Lindor. They've really added, subtracted very well. They've gone north and south with the fastballs. A lot of soft contact by these two guys that have really had their way in their careers against the Tigers. They'll need to keep the ball down once again here this afternoon against both of these dangerous bats.
They are a combined 1 for 16 in this series.
Ooh. Let's hope that continues for one more day.
And 7 strikeouts between them as well. So Lewicki continues to get ahead of the hitters, 0-2.
They've really kept Ramirez off balance with a mixture of really good fastballs. Then once they get ahead, they've been bouncing the breaking ball, and he has not been able to lay off of the breaking ball. Laid off of that one, though, but I think they'll continue to go down there.
Indians without a couple of key starters. Encarnacion, a sore ankle, and Kipnis left last night's ball game with a bad neck. Here's the 1-2 delivery. Little chopper to the right side for Nico. Goodrum gobbles that one up as well. And Lewicki, a 1-2-3 first inning. Corey Kluber, their starting lineup today. He's presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. You got Martin, Castellanos, and Cabrera. Jamer batting cleanup again, then Martinez and Goodrum at second. Bottom three, Hicks, Iglesias, and Jacoby Jones. And Corey Kluber this afternoon, presented by MGM Grand Detroit.
Well, if you're the Detroit Tigers, Corey Kluber is one of those guys, when you come to the ballpark, really no need in even watching any video on him. You know exactly what he's going to do. He comes in 9-2 with a 1.96. He's one of the best right-handers in the game. He's got a power fastball that moves in the mid-90s. He's got an unhittable slider and an occasional changeup. So pack a lunch. You know he's going to be out there a while, so you got to gut this one out.
Here is Leonis Martin in the leadoff slot today versus the right-hander Kluber. And Martin looks at a strike, 0-1.
He's got those fastballs that kind of crisscross each other in the strike zone. That was a two-seam fastball that tails away from the left-hander. He also has one that runs in on the left-handers.
Martin in the series 3 for 9. He's got 8 homers this year. Had a single, a walk, 2 steals, and a run scored last night. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
Yeah, there's that one cut fastball slash slider, whatever you want to call it, that he'll crisscross with his two-seam fastball. It's a wicked pitch. You see how it comes off the fingertips.
The 1-2 is a strike call to the outer edge, got him looking.
Yeah, that's a backdoor breaking ball there thrown by Corey Kluber. He starts it off the plate, and about right there, you give up on it as a hitter, and the natural breaking action on the pitch allows it to catch the outside corner.
Here is Nicholas Castellanos. Nick only 2 for 10 in the series. Swing and a miss. Kluber had that one sailed straight out of the strike zone. 326 for Castellanos, 6 homers. Fouled away, 0-2 now on Nicholas.
And Corey Kluber has won a couple of Cy Youngs. Won one last year. 3.26 is Nicholas's batting average, I should say.
Pretty good numbers against Kluber as well, 309, and he did not go there.
Those are great numbers, partner, because most guys don't do that kind of damage against Mr. Kluber.
There are only 2 Tigers right now in the lineup that have good numbers against Kluber, Castellanos and Cabrera. He held off again. Oh, he went around. Trip Gibson down at first base called him out on strikes.
Let's take a look at the Tribe defense behind Corey Kluber this afternoon. They've got Melky Cabrera in left field. Greg Allen is in center field. Lonnie Chisenhall back out there in right field again here today. And the left side of the infield, Ramirez, Lindor. Right side, Gonzalez and Alonso. And Perez is the catcher.
Here is Cabrera now with 2 outs. Little chopper back up the middle, and it's Gonzalez. And Kluber has a 1-2-3 first inning. We'll go to the second, no score. Now for the Bernstein advantage. How about the Tigers starters in this series? Both Fulmer and Fiers really good.
Yeah, it was the Cleveland Indians that came in with the well-publicized, a very good starting rotation. But Fulmer and also Mike Fiers both gave the Tigers a chance to win. Tigers 1-1 in the series here, 3 games, chance to win the series today.
They got it done in much different ways as Fulmer bullied the Cleveland lineup. And Fiers was using all parts of home plate last night and really did a terrific job of slowing down this lineup.
Fulmer threw 71 fastballs of the 108 pitches that he threw the other day against Cleveland, and every last fastball was above 95 miles an hour.
That is ripped to right field, a base hit for Lindor, his first hit in the series.
Now here's a little bit of what Fulmer and also Fiers were able to do. You talked about the bully that Michael Fulmer was. Lots of fastballs, 97, 98. As a matter of fact, he touched 99. And then you have Fiers. His top fastball is 91, but he's got the really good secondary pitches, and he's very savvy on the mound. He stays out of the middle of the plate, and he keeps guys off balance, and he also makes guys use some bad language every now and then, and we apologize for that.
There's a ball outside to Alonso. He will do that to you, won't he?
Yeah.
Alonso is 3 for 8 in the series. He's got some power, 11 homers, hit 28 long balls last year. And Lindor will draw a throw. Lindor is a stolen base candidate, 6 so far this season. Now they want Lewicki to move the rosin back.
Yeah, the hitters always want the rosin bag behind the mound. They don't want to see that distraction of that white rosin bag on top of the mound.
I suppose that's something I never considered. We always talk about the hitting backdrop. Did that rosin bag ever bother you?
Well, you don't want it there because obviously the baseball is white, and then you have the white, you have the rosin bag right there now behind the plate. So I mean behind the mound. So that's where you want it because it could bother you, especially for a guy that throws underneath.
Runner goes. Here's Hicks's throw, sailing into center field. Lindor is going to try and get the third, and Martin will hold it. It'll be a stolen base and an error on Hicks.
A good jump here by Lindor, stealing his 7th bag of the year, and that's just not a situation where, and we'll take one more look at it. Hicks, take a look at that front shoulder, how it opens up prematurely. It opens up right there. We're looking at fly open, and when you fly open like that, you're not pointing toward the direction that you want to throw the baseball, and that ball will tail on you just like that ball tailed on Hicks there.
But that was a great view of that shoulder flying open.
Yeah, man, it's like hitting, man. If you open up too early with that shoulder, the same thing. You're not going to see the outside part of the plate, and you're going to swing and miss a lot.
Now Alonso a chance to drive in a run with nobody out. Runner at third. Playing Alonso to pull on the infield. Driven in the air toward left center field. Ball is hit well. Martinez on the run, still going. He won't get it. It'll jump over the wall for a ground rule double. And Lindor will score to make it 1-0 Cleveland. Alonso's having himself a pretty good series, his 2nd double.
The Tribe offense runs much more efficiently when Lindor and also Ramirez are getting on. And Lindor gets on, steals a bag, gets over to third base. That's an 84-mile-per-hour off-speed pitch. Flipped the other way off the warning track into the bullpen of the Cleveland Indians.
Here is Lonnie Chisenhall, 9th double of the year for Yonder Alonso. Little chopper right side of the infield. This will advance the runner.
Good at bat there by Lonnie Chisenhall.
One gone.
Even though Lindor batting 4th today, he acted like the leadoff hitter here in the 2nd because he led off and got a base hit, a steal, got to 3rd in the air.
Now Melky Cabrera will try and drive in the run. Tigers pull the infield in a couple of steps. Cabrera recently signed as a free agent. Yanks that one foul.
The Tigers are playing their infield at a depth that would make Alonso down at third base, the base runner, think twice about trying to score on a ground ball. They're not all the way in. They're about halfway, except for the corners. But Alonso does not run well, so we'll see if he's coming on a ground ball on contact.
Fouled away 0-2.
You have the luxury of playing your defenders just as Ron Gardenhire is playing his defenders right now. And when the guy on third base is not the fleetest of foot.
Tigers know that facing Kluber, it might be tough to score runs. They would love to cut down this run here. Instead, it's driven to center field on a line. Martin will make the catch. Runner will tag and come home. And Leonis' throw is off target. It'll be a sac fly for Melky Cabrera. Martin's got a great arm, but his momentum was taking him to his left. It was going to be tough to square up and throw him out. RBI number 9 for Cabrera. 2-0 Cleveland. Roberto Perez now with 2 outs. Perez came in this year batting .094 against right-handed pitching. He is not known, though, for his offense. He is a fabulous defensive player. Here's the 0-1 pitch. 0-2. Indians have a couple of really good catchers on their staff with Yan Gomes as the starter and Perez the backup.
Just think a couple of years ago they had a deal done for Jonathan Lucroy, who was with the Milwaukee Brewers at the time, and Jonathan Lucroy did not want to play in Cleveland. He was later traded to another squad, but Cleveland was not a destination that he wanted.
Didn't Lucroy balk at that deal because once Gomes came back from injury, they were going to have to move him to a new position?
Exactly. First base, and he was going to be a free agent, and he didn't want to go through that in his free agent season because he's regarded as one of the best catchers in our sport at handling pitchers.
Swing and a miss. He chased up top, down he goes. That'll end the inning. Indians get a pair of runs, though. They do it on 2 hits. Candelario leads it off for the Tigers.
Some power. It was in the 12th frame. It was a 2-run home run after a 2-out single by Miguel Cabrera. It was Jamer who was 0 for 5 Ended the night 1 for 6 with a big, huge walk-off home run, the 5th walk-off hit this year for the Tigers, which is tied for first in the American League.
Isn't that amazing? He had punched out a couple of times.
Wasn't looking good at all last night.
No, I mean, some of the swings made you wonder, and then all of a sudden he walks up in the 12th and hits one about 1,000 feet to right field.
And he hit it against a really good pitcher in Cody Allen.
Jamer rolls it foul 0-2.
As a matter of fact, when he hit the home run, I was in conversation with our crack staff in the truck, and I was asking, had Jamer ever gone 0 for 5? And they said he did go 0 for 5 once this year, and it happened to be against Cleveland. But he had never gone 0 for 6, and I'm glad I didn't have to say that.
1-2 now on Candelario. Gardy's saying before the game he is hopeful that this is one of those days where the pinpoint control of Kluber might be a little bit off. Tigers will try and scrap out a win here today, win 2 out of 3 in the series. 1-2 is lifted foul.
And I told you that I walked into the Tigers clubhouse today and I took a peek in the video room, and there was Lloyd McClendon looking at one of the computers, and he was watching some video on Corey Kluber. And I said, "What are you watching that for?" And he got a big chuckle out of that, because Kluber is one of those guys, you know, he's going to battle you.
And you've seen him a bunch.
Yep.
Last 4 starts against the Tigers, Kluber has a 0.60 ERA.
And he's killing the division too. Already 4-0 in the division with, I think, a 0.33 ERA. He's one of the best in the game, man. It's that simple. And guys like this, man, you just got to go out and battle them.
You do, but as we have seen many times, even the best have off days.
For sure.
You might not feel the best. And the Tigers will try and work him a little bit today. Jamer always does that. He's gone to 3-2 in the count. Broken bat and caught on a leap by Gonzalez.
Kipnis doesn't catch that ball if he's at second base. Gonzalez is a little bit taller than Kipnis, more athletic.
By the way, if the Tigers combine for 3 or more home runs in this game, bring a copy of the Tiger box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow. Get a free small order of curly fries. Here is V-Mart. Victor had a good day yesterday.
And Victor basically took what they gave him. He had a couple of singles the opposite way. They overshifted on him to the pull field, and so he hit it where they weren't.
Ball 1 inside. There's that shift.
Yep. And the lone member on this side would be Ramirez, and Victor got him a couple hits, one that way in yesterday's game. Right past Ramirez.
Terry Francona has had to watch his team scrap this year to try and stay atop the Central Division. Ball is lifted to left center, and it's going to be Allen for round number 2. That'll bring up Nico Goodrum now with 2 gone. The Cleveland Ball Club is still by and large the same team that got to the World Series a couple of years ago, made the postseason last year with some minor changes, although I don't know if they're so minor. Santana and out of there, he went to Philadelphia.
You know who they kind of missed too from an offensive standpoint? Even though Alonso's been good, Jay Bruce was tremendous last year down the stretch for the Cleveland Ball Club. As a matter of fact, he was there for that 22-game winning streak after they acquired him from the New York Mets.
He had some big hits too. Nico skies one to left field, and pretty good. It's going to go to the warning track and caught there by Melky Cabrera. 1-2-3 inning for Corey Kluber. 6 up, 6 down against the Indians ace.
game break. This was during the rain delay yesterday, and I'm just going to throw this out there. Maybe if you weren't shaking hands and kissing babies, you wouldn't have caught this little bug that you have.
But I'm a man of the people, Keith. I enjoy my fans. They come over here to hang out with me, and I want to show them a good time.
You are a man of influenza right now, I'm afraid.
That's just wrong.
He's playing hurt down here, guys.
He is, but he's still playing. That's all that counts. Eric Gonzalez starting things off here for the Indians. They lead 2-0.
Was talking about tall second baseman, and Nico Goodrum stands 6'3". He's a tall second baseman. Their second baseman as well stands 6'3". That would be Eric Gonzalez, but most guys aren't that tall that play that position. DJ LeMahieu, he is 6'4", one of your taller second basemen in the sport right now. I wonder why that is.
I don't know. It's a good question.
I mean, usually you'll have some size at the shortstop position, the third base position, and usually your first base position, but usually your second basemen aren't all that big in stature. I guess the game's changing a little bit.
2-2 is outside, 3-2 on Gonzalez. I don't know, maybe it's more difficult around the bag to turn a double play with bigger guys.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, it probably has something to do with the agility and, you know, the athleticism of playing that position.
Got him. Down he goes. He chased one gone. Lewicki with 3 strikeouts.
Real good breaking ball here by Lewicki. Outstanding location. And boy, if he can bury that breaking ball down there all afternoon long, boy, we might see a few more swings and misses. And Ron Gardner knows that his right-hander has to be on point today.
But what a great opportunity for Artie, because, you know, he's had some relief appearances at the major league level. He has performed well at the minor league level, 14 wins last year. Now he's getting a chance because of some injuries in the big league rotation. Showing bunt there. Allen pulls it back 2-0.
And that's when you take advantage of those opportunities as well. His numbers aren't bad. I mean, he's been in 8 games now, 2 as a starter. Really has a good breaking ball when he gets to that really good release point. He really can spin the baseball. And that fastball's not bad at 92 if you can spot it on the black, on the corners, as he's been doing pretty much all afternoon. 37 pitches, 25 strikes for Artie so far.
Down the third base line, Candelario has room. 2 gone. We invite you to stay tuned for Tigers Live. Following the game, we'll be selecting the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers Player of the Game, presented by McDonald's. Here is Michael Brantley, who bounced out his first time up. Indians got a pair of runs in the second. RBI double by Alonso, a sac fly by Melky Cabrera. Brantley, the last couple of years, has had to deal with some injuries that have really taken a lot of his time away. I mean, ankle injuries, shoulder injuries. And for Cleveland, it's been hard to keep him on the field. He is such a talented hitter.
He has had to work so hard really to get himself in really good shape and to get back on the field, because as you mentioned, man, it's tough when you basically miss 2 full seasons.
It'll dive in for a strike.
It's kind of changed a little bit too, Mario. He used to be a guy that used to hit a lot of balls to left field. I mean, he had real good plate coverage. Now you see he's turned himself into a pull hitter since coming back from injury, and I wonder why that is.
Here's the 1-2.
Tigers would never overshift on Brantley. He was one of those guys like Miguel Cabrera. For what? I mean, the guy's hitting 325, but it's not the same kind of overshift that we see on Victor Martinez, but it's a heavy influence toward the right side of the diamond.
But you still have to respect his ability to go the other way, don't you?
No question. He's a really good hitter.
Popped up. First base side for Cabrera. He's got room. And Lewicki, a nice bounce back third. A 1-2-3 inning.
Yes, they will.
Mario and Rod back here at the ballpark, and it's been Corey Kluber so far. He's been able to pick up a couple of runs from his offense, but boy, it's been kind of typical Corey Kluber today.
Well, I mean, the cat is 9-2 with a sub-2 ERA. He's one of the best right-handers in the sport with that mid-90s fastball. He's got a great breaking ball as well. So the Tigers just know that they've scored 2 runs against Artie Lewicki, and they know runs are going to be at a premium against a guy like Kluber. So you just have to grind out all of your bats, try to make him work as hard as you can, and maybe try to get into that bullpen today, which hasn't been as good as it's been in the past.
Yeah, and one of the things the Tigers have been able to do is grind out at bats this year and grind out games. They'll need to do it again today as John Hicks looks at a strike. Hicks, Iglesias, and Jones facing Kluber. Ground ball, base hit the other way as Hicks takes one to right field. First base runner for the Tigers.
That's the kind of approach that you have to have against a guy like Corey Kluber. I mean, you have to be unselfish. You have to not try to force the issue. That's like a little breaking ball or cutter on the outside part of the plate. You can see he stays with it. His head is directly down on the baseball, and that's just a thing of beauty by John Hicks.
Here is Iglesias.
I was talking to Ron Gardenhire in his office today, and I was asking him, because Corey Kluber is really good and you're not going to get a lot of hits, at least not on most nights, will you be more aggressive as a manager? He said Corey is a guy that's really quick to the plate, so he's really tough to run on when you have the speedier guys on the base pass. He also fields his position, so he said it might be an issue, but he says his team's not going to change the way that they play the game.
Well, the other thing about Kluber is he has been one of the best, actually the best in the American League at stranding base runners. Typically teams might get some runners against him, but he's awfully good at shutting down innings as he throws a strike to Iglesias.
Yeah, maybe a good hit and run count here with Jose Iglesias. 1-1's a good hit and run count. Jim Leland used to love to hit and run in the 1-1 count. That guy could play. Alomar. Both of them could play. Sandy and Roberto.
Little pop-up, shallow center field. Greg Allen coming in, still coming in. And Hicks will retreat, one gone.
Well, the Tigers take on the Twins this Tuesday through Thursday. Enjoy the weekday value pack featuring 4 tickets, hot dogs, bags of chips, and 4 sodas for just $20 per person. Tickets can be had by going to tigers.com/value. It is June, isn't it?
It is June.
Just checking.
It's not necessarily cold, but it looks chillier than what it is.
65 degrees right now at the ballpark. Very cloudy and overcast. Jones batting in the 9 spot today. He'll stand in. Strike 1. Jacoby in the series is 1 for 5. Did not play in the opener. Got the first game off after a tough game, the final game of the Boston series. Slice fair down the right field line, going to go to the corner. Hicks on his way to third. They're going to stop him there. No, Dave Clark initially had him coming home, but then he gave him a late stop sign.
A beautiful piece of hitting here by the youngster Jacoby Jones, not trying to do too much, the same way that John Hicks did to lead off the inning. He slices one down in the right field corner. I mean, he slices that 84-mile-per-hour slider down in the right field corner. John Hicks, he is running the bases aggressively. He gets over to third base. Dave Clark is considering sending him home, but once Dave saw the cutoff man get the baseball, Gonzalez, who has a strong throwing arm, he simply put the stop sign up for John Hicks. And with 1 out, you don't want to run yourself into an out there. It's a nice job.
Wise choice by Clark, and now second and third for Leonis Martin. Only 1 out. And Martin skies one in the air down the left field line, slicing. Both of the Tigers' hits in this inning going the opposite way, Hicks and Jones. Martin struck out in the first.
Yeah, they've got to capitalize here. And with a runner on third, less than 2 outs, you've got to get at least 1 run in here against Kluber. The defense is relaxed. They're conceding the run.
Martin is 3 for 10 in the series. One ball, 1 strike. Leonis this year is on pace for 20 home runs. His high was 15 2 years ago with Seattle. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss.
Really?
Well, time to bring that to an end.
Yeah, let's change that.
20 consecutive scoreless innings versus Detroit.
That's why we put it up anyway, so we can change it, right?
Little jinx.
And Leonis is going to have to shorten his swing up, though. He chokes up ever so slightly on that bat. 34 inches, 32 ounces.
Bouncing ball right side. Ooh, we thought about coming home. This will get a run in. Martin will get an RBI. His 23rd of the year. Score Hicks from third.
Yeah, nice at bat here by Martin. Hicks on third base, coming on contact. As soon as the swing and the ball goes down, he's scoring. Gonzalez thought about coming home, but that would have been way, way too risky. And so he took the sure out.
It'll bring up Nicholas Castellanos now with 2 outs, tying run at third. Kluber struck him out in the first inning. And he threw him a bunch of breaking balls in that at bat. Spins one up top, 1-0.
And batters hitting just .211 against Corey Kluber with runners in scoring position. So he's been stingy for the most part.
Tigers able to get it started with the opposite field single by Hicks. He has come around to score the Tigers' first run of the game. Kluber this year with 4 starts of 10 or more strikeouts. He did that a bunch last year as well. In fact, he had 15 games last year of 10 or more strikeouts. Now the 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1-2 now on Castellanos. Miguel on deck. Nick has hit safely in 18 of his last 21 games. Laid off that spinner that time. 2-2.
And Nick is a very good breaking ball hitter. And should Kluber throw him a breaking ball and leave it up, there's no doubt Nicholas can put that ball in play, but you have to lay off that nasty slider, that one that darts down and away from the right-handed batter.
Got him, strike 3 in the outside corner. Nick knew it. 3rd strikeout of the game for Kluber, who minimizes the damage, but the Tigers get on the board. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire.
No matter where you serve or when you served, we stand ready to serve all military families.
Tigers are on the board now. It's a 2-1 ball game as we go to the 4th inning here at Comerica Park on a cloudy afternoon. Tigers wrap up this series, have a much needed day off after 18 straight. They'll take a day off tomorrow, then the Twins come in. Jose Ramirez leads it off. And Lewicki drops one in for strike 1. Hardy now has retired 6 in a row after the Indians got a pair of runs in the 2nd. Ramirez bounced out. He is 1 for 8 in the series. It's funny, Rod, I was looking up some stats on Ramirez. Did you know back in the 2014 season, he actually led the American League in sacrifice bunts?
Really?
And so that's a number he'll never approach again.
No. He probably hasn't had one in the last couple of years, the way he's been swinging the bat.
He won't be sacrificing all that often. There's a strike called.
Great pitch. I mean, an outstanding pitch, especially in a predictable fastball count. They've been doing a lot of that to Ramirez, and really the Tigers as a staff sometimes will not give you that fastball in the 2-1 count, 3-1 count, 1-0 count. Something else the Tigers do very well, they don't double up on the same pitch very often.
Full count now on Ramirez. Lindor will follow, then Yonder Alonso. This is the middle of the Cleveland lineup here in the fourth.
What'd you say is the matter with Encarnacion yesterday?
Been bothered by an ankle. 3-2. Rip foul. So no Encarnacion, no Kipnis today. And he got him. Strike three. Ramirez didn't like it. 4 strikeouts now for Lewicki.
That's the way they've pitched him pretty much all series. They've punched him out a bunch. Look at this ball come off the fingertips of Lewicki. Outstanding breaking ball. It's more of a 12-6 breaking ball. He gets on top of it and he spins it very well. It's at the top of the strike zone and Ramirez gives up on it, but a nice job there by Hicks catching that ball and giving the home plate umpire Adrian Johnson a really good look at it.
Here is Lindor. Lindor got it started in the second with a single, stole second, got to third on a bad throw, and eventually came out and scored one of the 2 runs.
Artie Lewicki is doing a nice job of getting ahead of the Tribe batters. He's 9 of 13 in first pitch strikes, and that's important. It allows the pitchers to expand the strike zone after they get ahead.
Bounced up the middle. Nico diving try, can't get it. It's another base hit for Lindor. Let's bring in Trevor Thompson.
Mario, by now everybody in Tiger Nation knows it's all about the Rally Goose, and now the Rally Goose merchandise is here. As you can see, they're flying in Old English deformation on the front of this t-shirt, but this isn't the only t-shirt they've got. They've got them in different colors, different styles with different sayings on them. On Tuesday, caps are rolling in. That'll be followed by a kids line, followed by pens, pins, and pennants, all coming your way. So this Rally Goose craze from a merchandising standpoint is just getting started. What do you think?
You know what, Trev? That looks really good on you.
Yeah, you like that?
Very, very good. Little Rally Goose in the back.
Oh yeah, it's in the D shop and all the other merchandise stands around the ballpark, guys.
Yeah, the color's tight. You look good in that orange.
Tight was the key word there, Rod.
You could pull it
I'm
off.
a big, strong man.
A couple of tickets to the gun show.
Alonso, the batter here, with 1 on, 1 out. Rally Goose, a pretty good record here at home.
Rally Goose making some paper too.
Yeah, Rally Goose getting rich.
They ought to give him some royalties.
Isn't it amazing how these things are born?
I mean, the poor Goose, man, ran into the out-of-town scoreboard. He fell down. Thank God he's okay. But now we're making money off of him.
He smacked his beak right into that board.
Oh, man.
And a star was born.
Yeah.
They chased Lindor back. Lindor stole a bag in the second. It was his 7th of the year.
And more than likely, he'll be trying to steal another base here today. And very important for Hicks to take his time and to make sure he keeps that front shoulder closed when he throws that ball down to second base this time, which will make him a little bit more accurate.
Runner goes. 2-0 is outside. Throw down. The tag not in time.
Why is he safe?
Oh, what a throw there by Hicks.
Oh, we'll talk about the differences in throws as well. We'll show the one with the shoulder closed and open, then we'll show this one with the shoulder closed. But the ball looked like it beat Lindor there. Here's a really good throw. Front shoulder's the key. Keeps it closed, and he has a really nice throw down to second base, right on the money. Oh,
swim move.
Yep. He eluded the tag, it looks like. Ball definitely beat him there.
Great tag by Lindor. We'll see if the Tigers will challenge. Home plate umpire Adrian Johnson says, what's your decision? You got 30 seconds to decide if you want to challenge.
Did he get him right there? Ooh, it's a tough one. No challenge.
No, it's one of those ones where if the call is safe, it's going to be hard to overturn that.
Ball definitely beat Lindor there. So an outstanding throw by John Hicks. Tremendous anticipation. But Lindor got that right hand in there.
Missing outside to Alonso. He'll draw the walk. 2 on now with 1 out for Lonnie Chisenhall. How about Chisenhall? Rod had the biggest at bat of last night's game and biggest for the Tigers when he failed to bunt the runners up. He was up in the count, and then who was on the mound? I forgot who was on the mound. Threw a ball up that Chisenhall.
Sopole was on the mound.
Yeah,
Sopole was on the mound. Yep.
He threw one up at the eyes, and he popped up the bunt.
Yep. That was good execution by Sopole and good leadership by James McCann, and it was poor execution by Chisenhall.
And so with runners at first and second, nobody out, that was the first out of the inning, and Sopole then pitched out of the rest of the frame. And the Tigers got a run in the 12th. Actually, 2 runs in the 12th on the home run by Candelario. Sliced out of play, 1 ball, 1 strike on Chisenhall. Well, that's getting into the spirit.
Yeah. Usually the kids get the faces painted, but I guess she's feeling awfully young today.
Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss.
Both Lindor and Alonso have those little oven mitts on. You see Lindor's, his more is to protect himself from sliding in head first. And when you see Alonso, see, he has the open hand. He's not a base stealer, but his is to protect him from putting his hand down and jamming his wrist. So you have 2 different oven mitts, so to speak, but they serve different purposes for both guys. One a base stealer, the other one not a base stealer.
I always thought when you go in sliding into a bag, don't your hands come up typically?
Well, I mean, that's the way you practice it, Mario, in spring training a lot of times on the sliding mat when, you know, we used to have sliding practice back in the minor leagues and in spring training actually for the big leaguers too. But you would be surprised at how many guys slide and subconsciously your hand just hits the ground, and that's where a lot of guys jam their wrist. You can see them talking about that thing right now. Iggy might start wearing one of those things in the future, as many bases as he's stealing. We'll look for that in the future too.
Little looper in the air to center field, going to drop, base hit. Lindor coming to third, he's going to stop. Wasn't quite sure if that ball would drop in. It's a single for Chisenhall. He's going to load him up now. Well, if you can't catch the games on TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. Download the app, take Fox Sports Detroit and Tigers baseball with you wherever you go. Made available by Oakland University.
Take another look here at Lindor. I mean, he's on second base. When this ball's hit, he gets a great jump, but he actually stops. If he'd have kept going, he'd have scored. Look at him. The ball goes up, and he's not sure. Now he stops right there, and now he starts again, and then it's too late to start up and score. He's upset at himself because he didn't realize where the outfielders were playing, and that's a play that you have to know where they're playing because it looked like a base hit off the bat of Chisenhall.
That's drilled to center field, backing up. Martin, runner will tag, and the throw will come back into third base. Sac fly again for Cabrera, who's knocked in 2 runs in this game. You know, they use the term professional hitter a lot. It's perfect for Melky Cabrera.
Melky has nearly 1,800 hits in the big leagues, Mario. 1,795 knocks in the big leagues as a switch hitter. He's had a really good career. Won a batting title with the San Francisco Giants back in the day.
That was his only All-Star year, 2012 for the Giants. Now Perez with 2 outs, and Bender drops in for strike 1. Perez struck out in the second. Indians lead 3-1. So Lindor, who was shut down to begin the series, has started 2 rallies here for the Indians, has scored twice. He has stolen 2 bases in this game.
Well, we were hoping at the beginning of the contest that the Tigers could keep Ramirez and Lindor quiet for one more day. They've done a nice job with Ramirez, but Lindor somehow has gotten loose here today and scored 2 of their 3 runs. Batting 4th today, albeit not in the leadoff spot, but acting like a leadoff hitter.
That's right to the first baseman. Cabrera going to carry him off his glove and go into short right field. And now the bases will be loaded. Way off the bag at second was Chisenhall. They had a chance maybe, but they didn't see him though.
That is going to be the first error of the year for Miguel. That ball had some spin on it. It was hit right off the end of the bat by Perez, and once the ball hit the dirt, because he hit it right off the end of the bat, it spun right past Miggy's glove. It trickled to Goodrum, but nothing Goodrum could do. Miggy, a really good first baseman. He had a really good fielding percentage last season. I believe he had the highest fielding percentage for first baseman in the American League. He was way up there.
Strike 1 on Eric Gonzalez with the bases loaded.
Here's where Artie Lewicki has to do his best to get out of this bases loaded jam right here. He's got the number 9 hitter up there. He's got to make some good pitches here.
Chop foul. He's ahead 0-2.
Can't make a mistake. He struck out Gonzalez his first time up with a breaking ball that was out of the strike zone.
Tigers now have committed 2 errors. One by Cabrera, the other on a throw by Hicks.
Yeah, you might want to go up top here with a good fastball. He's topped out today at 92. He's got to be at that kind of velocity to get Gonzalez to overswing at it. Be dangerous to throw a breaking ball. It might bounce past Hicks. Here's our Xfinity high-speed pitch. It's 92, 74 with that slow breaking ball. He did go up top with that fastball, but maybe not high enough.
Bouncing ball right side. Goodrum has it there, and that'll end the inning. They will settle for 1 run. The Indians leave them loaded. Coming up for the Tigers, it'll be Cabrera, Candelario, and Martinez. Here is Chevrolet's most dependable player, Corey Kluber, against the Central in the last calendar year. The numbers are startling.
Look at that, dude. 110 strikeouts and 11 walks. Opponents average 199. ERA 1.13. Did you say for the last year?
Yep. Last calendar year.
What kind of game are the young kids playing these days? PlayStation?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Xbox? Those are PlayStation, Xbox kind of numbers.
Well, here is Cabrera, who bounced out in the first inning.
Nintendo's been gone, right?
Yeah, for a while.
That was our era, wasn't it?
It's like Pong was my era. Remember Pong?
Yeah.
We were actually entertained by a ball bouncing off a stick.
Oh, yeah.
Kluber allowed a run in the third on a couple of Tigers hits. And Miggy fouls it back.
He hadn't fallen behind many hitters. Miguel Cabrera came in hitting .383 against Corey Kluber. He used to really own Kluber. That was earlier in Kluber's career. And Kluber the last couple of years has kind of evened out some things, but Miguel has himself in a really good fastball count here. Not that he's going to get one, but he should be aggressive.
Chop left side of the infield, Lindor in the backhand. He's going to one hop at the first for the out. Cabrera is gone.
Had him played perfectly, that's a base hit on most nights, but Lindor was in that hole because he knew that Mickey would probably pull the 2-1 fastball. And he just simply bounces the ball over to first base on 2 bounces, knowing that he still has a chance to get Miguel out on the bounces. 1 bounce, 2 bounces. Starting to see a lot of shortstops use that little bounce over to first base, getting rid of the baseball, not trying to make strong throws, but getting rid of it quickly and accurately.
Here's Candelario. Went around, strike 1. Jamer's home run last night, his 10th, was the team high for the Tigers. You mentioned last night that they really have been busting Candelario inside, haven't they?
Not just this team, but a lot of teams. Boston Red Sox did it to him as well. Teams have really tried to figure out how to get Jamer Candelario out. When the season started, teams were trying to figure out how to get Miggy out, how to get Castellanos out. But then the youngster Candelario has gone off with 10 home runs and 29 driven in and a lot of big hits. So they're paying a lot of attention to him too these days. And Candelario credits his dad for his really good swing. He and his dad have a great relationship. They've worked hard all their lives.
Here's the 3-1. Little pop-up, slicing toward left field. Fair ball. It's going to drop in. Candy going for 2, and he is going to be out at second. And Candelario's not beefing. He's simply going back to the dugout.
Well, Jamer should have had a double there, but he really wasn't running full speed out of the batter's box. And when that ball landed in the outfield, he turned on the Jets a little bit more, and he's probably out by that small margin. And one of the things that we talked about regarding Melky Cabrera in left field, he has had one of your better outfield arms in the big leagues since he's been in the majors.
Two gone now, base is empty for Victor Martinez. Tardy on the fastball, 0-1 on Victor, who fly to center in his first at bat.
Excuse me, that was the third baseman, Ramirez, that got to that ball and got the assist. I thought it was Melky Cabrera. But nonetheless, Melky does have a lot of assists in his career.
Yeah, that doesn't change. High strike right at the top of the zone, which Martinez is questioning. Victor's saying, look, man, the scout here is pretty good.
Yeah, he don't need no help.
0-2.
Boy, he's been busting a lot of these left-handers inside aggressively with that swing back fastball that Greg Maddux made famous. Of course, Maddux threw that two-seam running back fastball in the high 80s. And Kluber throws his in the mid-90s.
Pulled foul back for the Tribe dugout. Martinez pretty good over his career against Kluber. Really good, actually. Came in at .326 with 3 home runs. Numbers on Kluber after 50 pitches now.
A lot of strikes. I was looking at the amount of times that he's gone over 100 games this year, Mario, and it's not as many as you would think.
Got him strike 3. No, not at all.
He's so efficient.
Only 5 times this year. So Kluber gets through the 4th.
Not on. Remember we were talking about guys having their hands on the ground when they slide?
Yep.
We'll show it again.
There's a base hit to right field off the bat of Greg Allen.
Subconsciously, you always practice putting your hands up, but we were just having that conversation at why guys wear those oven mitts, because look at Candy's hand right here. The left hand is on the ground, and that's what guys do, and that's why guys wear some protective devices on the hand to keep themselves from jamming that wrist. I mean, you can see it. It's a good look of it right there.
My question is, was he out?
Yeah, he did get his foot right before he got on the bag. They showed me the replay in the break, and it looked like he got him.
Here is Brantley now with the man on. Runner goes, and Hicks will throw down to second. Safe at second base.
Apparently, the scouting report on Lewicki and Hicks is one that allows them to run today, because that is now the 3rd stolen base today for the base runners of the Indians. Good jump by Allen. It's a good throw by Hicks. Nice tag applied by Iglesias, but he gets the call safe by Chad Whitson.
So the first throw not so good for Hicks. The last 2 have been on the money.
Allen wears something to help him from jamming his wrist.
The baseball protective equipment industry has just exploded over the last 10 years.
Yes, it has. I mean, all the guys are wearing the protective helmets now too. I saw a big leaguer man, switch hitter on one team that had one helmet, but he had both of those little things on both sides, the face guards. I did. Instead of having one helmet, I mean, he has 2 of those.
1-1 on Brantley, who is 0 for 2, ground out pop-up. Indians lead 3-1, looking for more here in the 5th. Driven to center field. That'll chase Martin back. Runner tagging. Allen going to try and move up. Here's the throw to third base. He is out at third. Oh, Martin guns him down.
Remember about 2 weeks ago that there was a runner on third base and he tagged up and scored on Martin because he's a little lackadaisical in the outfield. We haven't seen him lackadaisical in the outfield since then. He does this perfectly. He gets back. Allen has real good speed. He gets rid of the ball in a hurry. One hop strike to Candelario, and he applies the tag to the left knee. What a throw there by Martin, but look how he does it. You can't do it any better than that, and he didn't even take one step to get rid of that baseball, so he really demonstrated a lot of arm strength. Oh, he's off the base, yeah.
55 outfield assists now for Martin since 2013.
And most of those from center field, which is not easy to do.
Bases are empty now for Ramirez.
That's a good base running play, though, by Allen. It really is. But Martin just made a really good throw on the money.
Ramirez is 0 for 2, 1 for 9 in this series. High fly ball, right center field, tagged pretty good. Castellanos, Martin going back. Up against the wall, it's going to roll away. On his way to third is Ramirez. He will stop there with a 2-out triple. Martin went flying up against that wall, but couldn't pull it in.
It's a nice job here by Castellanos. I mean, that ball goes up against the wall, and if Castellanos is not there to pick it up and get it in, it's an inside-the-park home run for Ramirez. I did not think that ball was going to go that far when it left his bat, but obviously the young man's got a lot of power. He's thinking about the inside-the-park home run before being stopped at third.
Now Lindor with 2 outs. He is 2 for 2 today. Strike one.
Yeah, Ramirez leads the majors in extra base hits. I mean, that's how good this young man has been, and he had a ton of extra base hits last year. As a matter of fact, he had 56 doubles.
Skied in the air to center field. Backing up is Martin. He is under it, and the side retired. No runs, 2 hits, 1 left.
Nico Goodrum steps to the plate. And Nico was talking to me about the need to be a role model, especially here in Detroit in the inner city. He wants to see young African-American kids resembled in the game, to see that he has made it this far. That gives them hope that they can also make it this far. He had a couple of relatives, cousins, Otis Nixon and Darnell Nixon, to look up to. That inspired him to get to the majors. Simo has told us about his affinity for Ken Griffey Jr. and how that drove him to be a big league player. And certainly Torrey Hunter has inspired a lot of African-American youngsters to play the game as well. So Nico, always aware of this, does as many autograph signings as he can, guys, hands out batting gloves, balls, whatever it can be, to just be in touch with the kids in the inner city, especially here in Detroit.
Hey, Trev, he has also been involved in providing water for the city of Flint, too, hasn't he?
In fact, he is going there tomorrow, Mario, to hand out 1,440 cases of water on an off day up to Flint tomorrow, because he was inspired by Flint Town. He didn't know that much about the water crisis there, but he learned a lot from that movie, and he can't wait to get up there tomorrow and hand out that water and help out in that community.
That's great stuff, Trevor.
Now, what a great role model. Nico Goodrum making an impact here in the Motor City. Drew Verhagen warming up in the Detroit bullpen. Goodrum with a fly ball. He's 0 for 1. 3-1, Indians have the lead. We're playing in the 5th. Now Kluber's 1-2. Broke his bat. Goodrum, then Hicks, and then Iglesias here in the 5th.
We were talking to Nico Goodrum yesterday during the rain delay. He was kind enough to come out and allow us to interview him, and he was talking about Ramon Santiago. Ramon is not here. Alan Trammell is coaching first base, but he has said how influential Ramon Santiago has been, helping him make the transition to being a role player, a guy that doesn't play every single day.
And Nico is out on the unassisted ground ball, 3 unassisted.
He says that you have to be prepared, you know, not to play,
right,
but you have to be prepared to play. You know what I mean? Because you're going to get in a lot of games because he plays defense, he runs, and he also a pretty good pinch hitter. And the Tigers also have a very short bench.
Boz talking with Lewicki. Artie with 78 pitches through 5.
Tigers have some activity in their bullpen. I don't know if Artie is done or not, but we'll see.
Usually that lengthy of a chat with the pitching coach means that perhaps you're done. We'll see. Lewicki made his last start in Boston, and in that game he went 3 2/3. Hicks had a base hit in the 3rd inning, scored the Tigers' run.
And the one thing that Kluber has done today, for the most part, against all the right-handers, everything is away, whether it be the fastball, the two-seam fastball, the cutter, the slider, everything for the most part away from the righties, but he's really pounded the lefties inside.
Here's the 0-2. Didn't go.
Had a chance to go down to the clubhouse and congratulate the one of the Tigers coaches down there, quality coach control, Joe Vavra. His son was just drafted a few days ago in the 3rd round, a shortstop. Proud father.
Yeah, great player out of Minnesota. Got him strike 3.
And Joe was joking like most of us do. His dad said that 3rd round now will allow him to get his own bank account.
That is key, man.
Get out my pocket.
Tigers host the Rangers Saturday, July 7th at 4:10. First 10,000 fans receive a Willie Horton 1968 50th anniversary bobblehead, courtesy of Dunkin' Donuts. 866-66-TIGER, Tigers.com. And of course, Willie involved heavily here in Negro Leagues weekend. The Willie Horton Legacy Award handed out as well.
And the recipient this year, Torrey Hunter.
Ball hit pretty well, but back there to make the play is Cabrera. Iglesias is out 1-2-3 inning. For Corey Kluber, we go to the 6th.
tires and auto service, everybody needs a Bell Tire guy. And by Chevrolet, the most awarded and fastest growing brand the last 4 years overall. Kind of a cool, cloudy afternoon. Well, not kind of. It is cool and cloudy and kind of chilly, to be honest with you, here at the ballpark. And it is going to be a wall side windows pitching change. Drew Verhagen coming on.
And Drew Verhagen has been in 10 games, one of those as a starter once he came back from Toledo. It didn't go all that well for Drew that day, but he was throwing the ball exceptionally well down in Toledo. Let's hope that he can recapture some of that goodness that he had while he was down there.
Verhagen will face Alonso, Chisenhall, and Cabrera.
And Jeff Pico, who is the pitching coach down in AAA, did a very nice job of getting the confidence back for Drew. At his time of his call-up, his numbers were incredible. I mean, he was one of the best pitchers in the International League, and that's why he earned his trip back to the big leagues.
Here is Alonso. He'll slice this one foul down the third base side.
And broken bat there for Alonso.
Verhagen was the Tigers minor league pitcher of the month in May. He was 2-0 with a 1.32 ERA. Bunch of strikeouts, just a few walks. Chisenhall and then Cabrera to follow. He'll dart low, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Alonso is the brother-in-law of Manny Machado, superstar shortstop of the Baltimore Orioles. They're good buddies too. Alonso tells the story that he used to think that Manny was always coming to the crib to visit him, but that wasn't the case. He was coming to see little sis.
That's a good excuse, though. Just fouled down the first base line.
That's funny.
Well, Alonso had himself a year last year, and really, in many ways, a career year for Yonder.
Well, his sister, she's going to be well taken care of because Mr. Machado is getting ready to be a very rich man after this year's over. And not that she wasn't already.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Taken care of pretty nice.
Richer is probably a better way to describe it.
Yeah.
Alonso double and an RBI plus a walk. Got 4 hits, couple of doubles in the series. And he pulls this one to first. Miggy will stab it there for the out. 3 unassisted. The 2018 FIFA World Cup is coming to Fox and FS1 with every match live and over 300 hours of coverage. The world's biggest sporting event is just 4 days away only on Fox and FS1. 1 gone now for Lonnie Chisenhall.
It's a nice job by Verhagen keeping the ball down. That's when he's at his best. He gets lots of ground balls. He stands about 6'5". He throws straight downhill. He's got tremendous two-seam action on that fastball. Good slider, good curveball. I should say curveball.
So eventually, where does he fit if he's able to stay in the big leagues? Rotation or bullpen?
Well, if he pitches well up here at Mario in this role, you never know. He came up as a starter in the Tigers minor league system, but the Tigers are having some issues in the bullpen. So when he was ready to come to the big leagues, he had to pitch out of the bullpen, and he had a nice year pitching out of the bullpen 1 year. So I think he might eventually land in the bullpen. I know Brad Ausmus, when he was here, he felt like he was better suited for the bullpen. I have to ask Ron Gardenhire that question. Or Rick Anderson, bullpen coach, or Chris Bosio, the pitching coach.
2-2 on Chisenhall with Cabrera waiting on deck. Pulled on the ground to the right side. Nico can't get there. It's into center field. 1 out single for Chisenhall. Now Cabrera, who's had 2 good at bats in this game, 2 sac flies.
This was a good pickup for the Cleveland Indians. Yeah, 4th or 5th outfielder with switch hitting potential, veteran player. Indians have a lot of switch hitters.
It was a somewhat quiet pickup by the Tribe. He went to AAA first, and you can speak of how difficult it is missing an entire spring training. I know that I'm sure he was working out, hitting the cage, staying in shape, but that's not the same as playing games.
That's not even the hardest part for him, Mario. Going to the minor leagues is probably the hardest part. I mean, he's been in the big leagues for a decade, and he knows he's a quality big league player. But he couldn't get a job until almost the end of April. So you know he had to swallow some pride to go down to AAA to get himself in good playing shape before the Indians will call him up.
He's going to cue one inside the bag down the third base line. Chisenhall's on his way to third. Throw comes into second, and it's dropped. Everybody is safe. Second and third now. Cabrera aggressively hustling to second.
And it's a 2-0 pitch that he cues right down the third baseline. Candelario playing off the line. And Jacoby Jones does a nice job to get in and grab this ball in a do or die kind of play. And he throws it to second base, but and somehow, some way, Melky able to get in there safely.
Infield coming in now with Perez up there.
Now, you cannot allow the Tribe to score any more runs, especially with Corey Kluber on the mound in the way that he's pitching.
That one stayed high, 1-0.
Hey, you might want to use that breaking ball again. He's got a good breaking ball. And we also told you that Verhagen, when at his best, gets ground balls. So a ground ball right here would probably prevent them from scoring a run.
Kluber has allowed 1 run through 5 innings in this game.
All 3 of the starting pitchers that the Tigers have seen in this series all sitting next to one another. It was Trevor Bauer, and it was Clevenger, and it was Kluber. Bauer was outstanding 2 nights ago. He was 18 of 26 in first pitch strikes, and he punched out 12 Tigers. Clevenger was okay. We've seen him better, but the Tigers finally figured him out. Give them some credit.
Clevenger retired 17 straight at one point.
Did he?
Yeah. I mean, he may not have been as overpowering as Bauer was. Clevenger last night went from the end of the first until the 7th inning, retiring everybody saw him.
6 2/3. He only gave up 4 hits. He did it differently last night, I guess, is why he didn't feel like he was dominant to me.
Ooh, did that get him the hand?
It might be bat. We'll see.
Boy, the way it sounded, you better hope it's the bat, but he is in pain right now.
Fastball ran on him. Oh, bottom hand.
Bottom hand.
He sure did get him on the bottom hand. Almost thought that possibly it was the bat by the way it sounded, but he's not going to be able to continue.
No, I'd be surprised.
And they're going to hold their breath until the x-ray comes back negative.
Gardy came out to ask if that ball hit the bat. Brian Gorman, the crew chief, coming in now, and they're going to take a look at it.
You can really see it here hit the bottom hand. Did not hit the bat at all.
No. A direct hit for Perez. That is Adrian Johnson on the right, Brian Gorman, the crew chief, on the left, as the Tigers want the review on this play. Perez apparently is going to stay in the game.
Vote.
Tigers challenging the hit by pitch. And they say that it hit him, so the Tigers will lose this challenge. Perez is like, believe me, it hit me.
And Perez talked his way into staying in the game, because when Terry Francona first went out there, he was telling Yan Gomes to get ready. I'm sure Yan Gomes is already putting the equipment on. There's Yan.
So they're loaded up now, and that'll bring up Eric Gonzalez. Only one out. Perez still obviously in pain.
Well, I mean, I don't think he's going to be able to continue, because if you're the Tigers and you get anybody on base in the next couple of innings, I mean, you're going to be running.
Oh, and 1 on Gonzalez. Verhagen came on here in the 6th. He's given up a single, a double, and hit a batter. He'll dart low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Oh for 2 for Gonzalez. He grounded out his last time up. Ground ball here would be clutch. In the air to center field and hit well. Martinez on his horse. It's going to go over his head into the wall. 2 runs will score. Perez coming around third. They're going to send him home. Throw is cut off. 3 runs in, and the throw to second will get Gonzalez, but not before damage is done. A 3-run double by Eric Gonzalez.
Gonzalez, for the most part, does not have a lot of power, and that's why Leonis Martin playing him shallow in center field. But he gets a hold of a fastball against Verhagen and hits it off the warning track. And by the time Martin gets it back in, all 3 runners, Chisenhall, Cabrera, and Perez, come around to score. And then they're able to get Gonzalez in the rundown.
A 3-run 6th inning here for the Indians. They now lead 6-1. Greg Allen, the batter, with 2 outs, nobody on. Swing and a miss. Twelve RBIs now for Gonzalez. Allen drops down a bunt foul.
Wow, up by 5. But I guess that's part of his game. Why not?
Single steal in the 5th. Otherwise, 1 for 3 total in this game for Greg Allen. Swing and a miss. That'll end the inning. However, the Indians get 3 more runs, and we'll go to the bottom of the 6th. Bottom of the 6th, it'll be the bottom of the order. Jacoby Jones, the number 9 hitter, will lead things off against Kluber.
Speaking of the bottom of the order, the Tribe's bottom of the order in the 3-game series has gotten loose against Tigers pitching.
Here's a bouncer up the middle indoor to his left. And Jones is out on 1 pitch. Menards brings you the big money encounter, and of course Torrey Hunter has been here the last 3 days, honored with the Willie Horton Legacy Award before the game today.
It's a wonderful honor for Torrey Hunter. There's his former manager Ron Gardenhire, and Torrey, he provided a lot of people with a lot of smiles here, man, the last 3 days. What an awesome young man.
He joins a very impressive list of folks that have won that award here on Negro Leagues weekend. There's a strike called on Martin.
Tigers do a wonderful job of making sure that the African-American players are not forgotten about here in Detroit, the ones that didn't get a chance to play in the major leagues but played in the Negro Leagues. Too big a swing there by Leonis.
I heard you give a stat in the little segment you did on the pregame show today. How many African-American kids were drafted this year?
13 of the first 68.
By the Tigers?
No.
Oh, total.
Total.
Oh, the first 68 total players.
Total, yeah. In the draft. And which is rare, because really the numbers as far as African Americans in the game have really dwindled since the 70s. I mean, in the 70s when I got drafted in 1977, there was probably 25% of the major league players were African American. We're down to about 7% now, but it's very encouraging to see all the African American players that were drafted this offseason, led by the kid Kyler Murray. Is he the quarterback? Yeah, for Oakland. I mean, for Oklahoma. I mean, he was taken 8th.
He signed, I believe.
Yeah, they're going to let him play football, and they're going to hold their breath.
Do you see that trend turning around anytime soon?
Which trend is that, Mario?
The African-American kids.
Oh, yes, I do. I do. Very encouraging that so many were drafted. I think African-American kids are starting to play more baseball. I think that baseball, the major league level, is doing a very nice job at building facilities in certain towns. Kansas City has an academy now. Of course, there's one in Los Angeles. There's one in Houston.
Ooh, that ball belted deep to right. Forget about it. It is way gone.
Ooh, he killed that.
Martin put a hurting on that one. It's his 9th home run of the year.
Ooh, my goodness. Leonis
leaned on that one.
We talk about him a lot, man. When he gets going, man, he can put you on his back. He's already made a real nice defensive play today, and now he takes Corey Kluber deep. That's the 12th home run that Corey Kluber's given up, so he will give up a few. Where is it? It's up at the strike zone. Look at this thing. It's up at the top of the strike zone at 93. And he's able to climb the ladder, and he crushes it. We'll get some distance for you in a little bit.
415 feet. Ground ball to short. Easy hop there for Lindor. And Castellanos is out 2 away. We mentioned that Martin is on pace for 20 home runs this year.
What's his career high, 15?
15. He's got to be on pace for more than that now with another one here today.
You know, just to tie a ribbon on the whole conversation about the Negro League weekend, I had the honor of moderating a conversation today with the great Willie Horton and Jake Wood, who is also here, and Craig Monroe. And for many people that don't know, Jake Wood is the first African-American player to be groomed by the Tigers in the minor leagues and to make it to the big leagues. He was a good second baseman with real good speed. Everybody knows about Willie Horton and Craig Monroe, their contributions to the Tigers.
0-2 on Cabrera.
You should have saw them, Mario, when I brought up Gates Brown names.
Oh, is that right?
Because I knew they had some stories on Gates Brown. And I challenged Jake Wood to a racquetball game. Man, he's 80 years old, man. He's 80 years old, and I brought up racquetball. He threw his hands up. He said, "Let's go."
Careful what you wish for.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Slow roller to Lindor. He's got plenty of time, and Cabrera's out. That'll end the inning. Tigers get one back, though. Leonis. This ball went a long way. Homer number 9 for Martin, 6-2. Tigers get one back on the long ball, and I mean long ball, hit by Leonis Martin. 6-2 is our score now. On our way to the 7th inning, it'll be Brantley, Ramirez, and Lindor for the Indians. Verhagen back to the mound. Drew gave up a 3-run double to Gonzalez in the 6th.
Yeah, Tigers will have a day off tomorrow, and they desperately need that day off. It'll be 18 consecutive days that they have played before getting some time off tomorrow. And the travel to Boston was brutal. I mean, we played a doubleheader against the Yankees, so that's grueling enough. And then you guys got into Beantown about 2 or 3 in the morning, a game the next day against Boston in a hostile environment. And then you get back home after just 3 days and through 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. It takes its toll.
Every ball club will certainly go through its challenges throughout the course of the year schedule-wise.
No question about that.
And with all the bad weather we had in April, the Tigers, believe me, are not the only team that have struggled with their schedule.
Yeah, but Major League Baseball has really taken a lot of positive steps forward, and it really happened in the last couple of years with the new bargaining agreement with making sure players get the proper days off. That's why spring training started earlier this year, because they added in 4 more off days. And so the off days are really important to the players. They also are really providing nice meals for the players in the clubhouse, very healthy meals. They want players to really concentrate on getting their sleep. I guess when you have this type of an investment, you have to make sure that you do everything possible to make sure that it functions properly.
For sure. A lot has been talked about the money that is being poured into analytics by all of these different organizations in Major League Baseball, but I've had a couple of general managers talk about the fact that they now are investing in just what you talked about, Rod. Keeping guys healthy, good eating habits, good sleeping habits.
Right. There are some organizations out there, after so many days that a player plays, he will get an automatic day off. An automatic day off just because of some numbers that they've crunched that tells them that for him to be at his peak, he needs some rest.
Big swing there by Ramirez.
Good breaking ball as well by Drew Verhagen. That's how they've gotten him out, really, in the series. They've slowed him down with those really slow breaking balls, and he's continued to swing over the top of them.
High fly ball down the right field line going toward the corner. Castellanos will make the catch.
2 outs. How about a Ram pick the stick update? Well, Mr. Martine's home run probably helps somebody.
I think that's Simo. Simo's rolling, man. You better, he coming.
He's on my tail.
Oh, Keats
no,
had
it's
him.
Keats.
Oh, my goodness. No, we don't want Keats to have him.
That's even worse.
I shouldn't say that. I love Jonathan.
No, we're kidding. Kind of. Gibby's got a -2 going.
Well, I mean, I can't get out of my own way and pick the stick. I mean, I had the first pick today, and I took Miguel Cabrera. He's batting .383 against Kluber. He's tons of extra base hits. I mean, you name it. I could have went Nicholas.
Yep.
But see, he'd be -2-2.
Yep.
So, oh well, it is what it is.
You started fast though this year.
I did. I mean, I got out of the gate good, you know. Uh-oh.
That ball lined to right field. Castellanos going back over his head, going to roll away from him. Martine will back it up, and it's going to be a stand-up double for Francisco Lindor.
That's the third knock of the afternoon by Francisco Lindor. Came in 0 for 7 in the first 2 games of the series, but 3 hits today. He's hit everything right on the screws. It's a breaking ball that he stays with nicely. And Nicholas Castellanos got real close to the gate, and nice job by Martine backing up.
Lindor also came in 0 for his last 20 overall. It's kind of hard to believe he would go through a stretch like that.
Yeah.
But that has now disappeared with a 3-hit game. Yonder Alonso looks at a strike. Five extra base hits now for Cleveland. And Alonso loops one in the air toward left. Here is Jones coming in. That'll retire the side. Nothing comes of the 2-out double. Coming up, the Consumers Energy 7th inning stretch.
Very difficult assignment today with Corey Kluber out on the mound. The Tigers have been able to score a couple of runs against him, but Francisco Lindor has gotten loose today. He scored a couple of runs. He's had 3 hits. The biggest blow came off the bat of Eric Gonzalez. That was a 3-run double back in the 6th, and Corey Kluber has kind of done the rest. That was a big, big knock there by Leonys Martin for his homer over the right field wall, but probably a little bit too much Corey Kluber here today, partner.
Well, so far it has been. We'll see what the rest of the game brings us. The other thing about this ball game, Ron, is the bottom of the lineup the last 2 days for the Indians has gotten it done. Gonzalez had that big 3-run double today.
Yeah, in a couple of days they've really done a nice job driving in some clutch runs against the Tigers. It's a good team. I mean, we knew that coming in. They've got one of the best starting rotations in all of baseball. Bauer, Clevenger, Kluber. That's a tough assignment, but they've got some baseball left here to try to win a series.
The Tigers trying to avoid losing 2 out of 3 to the Indians, who of course are leading the Central Division. As we look at this Indians team, they still have a very good offensive ball club, and we know their bullpen has been an issue this year, but they're still a ball club that has not been able to kind of take off and bury the rest of the division.
No, their starting pitching has pretty much carried them to where they are right now. If they ever get the bullpen going and get a lot of consistency up and down the lineup, it's going to be a very difficult team to catch. But the Tigers, they're going to try to win this game here today. Out distribution today for Corey Kluber. 5 strikeouts, 7 groundouts.
All right, Tigers trying to continue to chip away here. It'll be Jeimer Candelario leading things off here in the bottom of the 7th versus Kluber. And Jeimer looks at a strike on the outer edge. Candelario, Martinez, and Goodrum.
Boy, still going inside aggressively to the left-handers. I mean, really going in there with that really good cutter / slider. Ooh, that's wicked right there, man. He starts that ball off the plate, and if you give up on it, it's going to be called a strike. That's why you have to really stay with it.
Here's the 1-2. High ball 2.
He is also 18 of 22 in first pitch strikes, so he's even a little bit better than their Friday night starter, Trevor Bauer. Bauer was 18 of 26 in first pitch strikes on Friday night.
Jeimer caught looking, strike 3. That is the 5th caught looking in this game for the Tigers. 6 strikeouts overall. Take the afternoon off. Tigers face the Twins on Thursday at 1:10. Great seats are still available. For tickets, go to Tigers.com. Tigers bringing you summer since 1901. By the way, Kluber came into this game with more called third strikes than anybody in the American League.
Well, you can see he has such action on that two-seam fastball that he starts right at the hip, the right hip of the left-handed batter. And then he also has that pitch right there that he wraps around the outside corner. So he's got fastballs going each and every way. He doesn't throw anything straight, and that's how he's been able to get all these strikes called. And you talked about it earlier, the kid behind the plate, Perez, is known as one of your better guys at handling the pitching staff.
0-2 now the count on Martinez. Six runs on 10 hits for the Indians, 2 runs, 4 hits for the Tigers. Here's the 0-2. That'll miss inside.
Yan Gomes now in the game. Perez was hit an inning ago, so he has left the game now. Gomes is in, but both guys of these are really good catchers, and that's one of the reasons why Kluber has so many called strikes looking today. They can really handle the glove.
That is popped up foul, heading back to the seats out of play. 1-2 on V-Mart. Strikeout flyout for Martinez in this game. Tiger box. The Martin hit was a home run. But Kluber doing Kluber things here this afternoon. 2 runs on 4 hits. Goodrum waiting on deck.
See, Victor didn't give up on that breaking ball right there. He's seen enough of them today to know that Corey starts that ball off the plate, and if you give up on it, you're going to get called for a strike 3. He's looking for you watching it. He says, nope, he's been calling that all day. I'm going to flip it over here till I try to get a little something better to put in play.
Zach Reininger tuning up in the Tigers pen. Another one fouled back out of play. Martinez began his career with the Indians. He spent 8 years in Cleveland. Made a couple, actually 3 All-Star games as a member of the Tribe.
Victor wanted to spend his entire career in Cleveland.
He was involved in a deadline deal with Boston.
Yep. He didn't want to leave.
Pulled on the ground right into the shift into short right field for Gonzalez. Long throw bounces in.
Here's our Bell Tire pitch by pitch. You be the judge of how the catchers are helping out Corey Kluber here. Watch that catcher's glove. Boy, they can stick that ball.
Can't they, though?
They can stick it.
Boy, is that an art. 5 of these 6 strikeouts looking. Nico Goodrum, 0 for 2, grounded out his last time up. Tigers no doubt talking about the stuff that Kluber is featuring today and how they have.
He's one of the best pitchers in the game. I mean, man, there's some other guys, obviously, to come to mind. Where do you have him? I mean, obviously, you got Max, you got Verlander, you got Severino, you got this guy, you got Garrett Cole. You got a lot of good right-handers. Who you like?
Well, I know we've discussed this before, and I picked Max Scherzer, and I'm probably going to stay with Max, but this guy is right behind him. I think his demeanor sometimes, you know, you kind of forget about him because he's such a, I don't know, calm and
he doesn't draw attention
guy.
to him. He doesn't draw attention to himself. I mean, Garrett Cole is out of this world. Kluber is phenomenal. Cy Young's. Max has won 3. Verlander has won a Cy Young. Severino's a no-hit or waiting to happen. These guys are dominant. They're good pitchers.
Swing and a miss. Goodrum is out of there. Kluber forgot there were 2 outs. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire. For the first time, the Tigers, after a call to the bullpen, had somebody use the cart.
Hey, Willie.
I love the GoPro.
I love it, too. That's perfect.
Alex Wilson coming out, the first Tiger to use the cart. John Axford was the first visiting player to use it.
Now, the million-dollar question is, will somebody else use it? You got to work on his backing up skills there, man, you know? It's parallel parking.
Yeah, so hope he's done that to parallel park that thing. Wallside Windows pitching change, Zach Reiniger.
Yeah, the cleanly shaven is Zach Reiniger. Lost a bet and had to shave up all his hair. That's a shame.
I heard John Keating ask Wilson yesterday, so what exactly was the bet?
Right.
And Willie said, I can't tell you.
Oh, yeah. One of those.
Yep. Can't tell you.
I'm just surprised that Reiniger bet his hair unless he thought he was going to win the bet.
I'd rather lose money than that hair.
Yeah, I mean, we had his mom on Mother's Day, and she said that he loves his hair, and he's always loved his hair.
Lonnie Chisenhall will lead it off here in the 8th. 6-2. The Tigers have been out hit 10-2. One and one. On the line to right field, Castellanos is going to get by him and go to the wall. Chisenhall is on his way to second. He will stop there.
That's one of those plays where you're in the outfield. And of course, Nicholas Castellanos is still very new to the outfield. But when that ball is coming the way that ball was coming, it has that kind of top spin. You have to try to recognize it earlier. And you have to make sure you don't get too close to the ball. And you have to keep it in front of you. He got way too close to that ball, and therefore was able to slip right through his legs. But when you do that, you just have to back up a little bit and catch it on one hop.
So now here is Melky Cabrera.
That should be the third error of the game for the Tigers, I'm thinking.
I would imagine that'll be a single and an error.
Yeah.
Single and an E9. Melky Cabrera. Fouled away.
Initially, when they shaved his hair, they left him a little ponytail in the back, but then they took that away from him.
That's not good.
But check him out, though, man. Check him out before.
Well, I hope they donated that hair.
Well, he's a handsome young man, though, so I guess he'll be all right.
He can pull it off.
Yeah, he'll be all right.
The 0-1. Look out, up and in, sending Cabrera sprawling out of the box.
Corey Kluber's done a bunch of that to the Tigers lefties all day. He's pounded them inside. I mean, hard inside.
Double and 2 sacrifice flies for Melky Cabrera. Pulled and through, base hit. Let's look at another run in. RBI single for Cabrera, who's had a huge day for Cleveland.
Hey guys, I was in the Tigers clubhouse yesterday and chatting with the great Al Kaline, and we were just shooting the breeze, which is a great thrill to be able to do that with a Hall of Famer. And he kind of looked into the Tigers clubhouse and he said, "Who'd we call up? I didn't know we were calling somebody up." "Oh, that's Reininger," and he looks completely different. He didn't know that they had taken all of his hair off.
Well, I can see how Mr. Kaline would make that mistake because he does look really different. And Zach, of course, being a rookie, just happy to be here. So if you lose the bet to a veteran, got to pay up.
Keats, you ever lost a bet where you have had to shave off your hair or anything like that?
Well, there's not so much of it to shave off anymore, so I can probably go ahead and bet anybody. I don't know that there's been anything like that.
2-0 now on Yan Gomes, who gets his first at bat of the game after taking over for the starter.
You know, Ron, I've lived such a straight and narrow life that really none of that stuff really factors into my, day-to-day living.
Oh, I can vouch for that. I know when we get on the road, you go straight to the room, and you don't come out. You go straight to the ballpark, and you go right back to the room. I never see you on the road.
What are you guys talking about right now? Because I don't know either one of you right now.
Rod, there's $20 in it for you the next time I see you.
3-0 on Gomes. Now Reininger with the 3-0 pitch. In there, a strike, 3-1. 7-2, back up to a 5-run lead now for Cleveland. That's their 12th hit, by the way, the single by Cabrera.
Belted toward left, but it's going to hook foul. A lot going on in that Cleveland box today. Lindor with 3 hits.
Nice day by Melky Cabrera, Chisenhall as well. Left-handed bats got loose today.
Now the 3-2. High, towering fly ball to left center field, hit a ton.
Ooh.
Martin going back, and that one is gone.
That's the second home run he's hit in the series. They hit a lot of home runs, man. They got a lot of power.
Gomes a 2-run shot. 9-2. Hits now for the Tribe. Here is Gonzalez. Gomes hit one last night. That was against Mike Fiers in the 3rd. He is homered again here today.
Yeah, bottom of the order again. We just got finished talking about how much damage the bottom of the order in the series has done, and they're at it again. That's the number 9 hitter right there.
Gonzalez on his way to second, and he is going to hold up. It'll be his 2nd double of the game. 4 straight hits off Reininger here in the 8th inning. Top of the order now, Greg Allen.
Of the 14 hits today off the bats of the Cleveland Indians, 6 of those are extra base hits.
Allen had a single, stole a base in the 5th, did not score. Ball 1.
Coming into play today, 49% of the runs that the Cleveland Indians have scored this year have come via the home run ball, which is 2nd in the majors. So that's a high percentage. Nearly half of their runs due to homers. You can imagine who's first. The Bronx Bombers.
Yep.
50% of their runs have come via the home run.
Saw them on Monday in the makeup doubleheader.
Yeah.
8 RBIs from the 5 through 9 spots in the lineup today for the Indians.
Well, Tigers knew this would be a very difficult stretch. As far as the season is concerned, you had the Yankees coming in for that doubleheader. Then you had to travel to Boston for the short 3-game series there, and then back here, and where Cleveland was waiting for the Tigers. They had a day off the day before, so they were well rested. Former Tiger there, Rajay Davis, with a huge smile. Rajay's always smiling, man. Always smiling. He homered last night. And when Torrey Hunter was being honored today here on the field, Rajay was out there showing his respect for his former teammate.
Here's the 2-2. 3-2 now on Greg Allen. Really, when you think about it, Rad, over the last decade, you're talking about Hunter and Davis, 2 of the more popular Tigers, I think.
Yeah.
The more well-liked Tigers.
Absolutely. And neither guy spent a whole lot of time here. But they have a way of captivating the room when they walk into it.
Allen caught looking, and 1 gone here in the 8th. Well, it's a whole new ball game with RBI Baseball 18. RBI Baseball 18 delivers an all-new franchise mode and much more. RBI Baseball 18 available now. Learn more at RBIGame.com. Rated E for everyone.
You know, we were having a conversation earlier about how we could get more African Americans to play the game of baseball. Dayton Moore of the Kansas City Royals said something very interesting. He's the general manager and the president of the Kansas City Royals, and they just built a baseball academy in Kansas City. But not only did they build a baseball, they also built softball. because he feels like it's vital for the moms to like softball. In turn, they'll like baseball. And then the moms will bring the boys to the ballpark. The moms will take the boys to Little League practice. So as much as we like to put it on the dads, he's taking a different approach. I mean, he says the moms are very important in trying to integrate and get these kids involved in baseball too.
Well, I can tell you that in our family, my wife was the one that brought our kids to all the games.
Yep, mine too.
Travel we do, they're in many ways more important.
No question. So if the moms love baseball, then they're going to bring the kids to the ballpark, and then we're going to have more kids playing baseball. And it's just not African-American kids, it's all kids, really.
2-1 on Michael Brantley. Indians have added 3 more runs here, 2 of them on a home run by Perez. Brantley loops one in the air toward left. Jones is there. 2 gone. We'll bring up Jose Ramirez. A triple for Ramirez in this game. Did not score. He's 1 for 4. Tigers came into this game 21-15 at home after their walk-off win last night.
And Tigers have also won a 6th consecutive series here at home. That's in jeopardy here today. So they clearly and they truly have played good baseball here.
One and one on Ramirez. Reininger took over here in the 8th. Tigers have gone with Verhagen, and Lewicki started, went 5 innings. Pulled right back up the middle. Nico has it on the backhand, and that'll end the inning. 3 more runs in for Cleveland. They lead 9-2.
Of the game, one of the best in the baseball, Corey Kluber, and pitching a very good game today. Tigers have not been able to do a whole lot against him. As a matter of fact, Corey pitched a game against the Tigers earlier this year. It was in April, on the 9th of April, and he had 13 strikeouts in that game. So he hasn't struck out that many today, but he's been on point with his first pitch strikes. He's been incredible.
Here are the numbers: 7 strikeouts and no walks. It's been a while since Kluber has walked a batter. May 8th against the Brewers, better than 43 innings. 1 ball and 1 strike on Hicks.
He is awfully efficient. I mean, up and down. I mean, you digest all his numbers, man. They just all come back really positive.
Bottom 3, Hicks, Iglesias, and Jones here in the Tigers' 8th. They'll curl low, and the count now goes 2-1. Another bouncer to the other side, and Hicks with another hit to right field.
It's the second time today Hicks has gotten a base hit the opposite way, just like that. We talked about this today in our open, Mario. From 2011 until 14, in 11 games, the Tigers, they beat up on Corey Kluber. 2-5 record, very high ERA. Opponents averaged over 300. But take a look in the last 12 games. 7-2 with a 275, the whip well under 1. And the opponent's batting average has gone down 100 points.
Yeah, real dominant from 2015 on. Kluber now will face Iglesias. Tigers have their 5th hit of the game. Kluber has not pitched into the 8th inning since April the 27th. And he's into the 8th here today. Iggy backs out of there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two fly ball outs for Iglesias. Pull on the ground to third. Bobbled there by Ramirez, and now he's going to have no play. What looked like might be a double play, and now the Tigers have 2 on and nobody out.
Probably would have been a double play. The ball was hit sharply, and even though Iglesias gets down the line quickly, it's right at Ramirez. He just rushed. And then he rushed again, and he bobbled it. Then by the time he picked it up, he had no play.
E5 on Ramirez. Now Kluber will get a visit.
And they've got some activity in their bullpen, so this visit is to allow those 2 relievers, 1 right-hander, 1 left-hander, some time to warm up. Carl Willis, why would you go to the mound when Kluber's out there? That's just a courtesy walk.
Yeah. A little bit of a break there for Kluber, and now with 2 on, here is Jones. There is the action in their bullpen.
Well, that Olsen would be for Leonis Martin if there's any trouble. But I have to believe that anybody trotting out of that bullpen, they're not going to be better than Corey. That much I can promise you.
95 pitches, 68 strikes for Kluber. And Jones looks at a strike 0-1.
Yeah, that error by Ramirez, and just the 3rd error of the season committed by their all-star 3rd baseman. And he also was a finalist in the Gold Glove voting last year at that position, so he's pretty sure-handed down there.
Jacoby chasing the breaking ball 0-2. Meanwhile, for the Tigers, Buck Farmer warming up. Jones in the game with a double and a ground out. He doubled to the opposite field in his first at bat. Little chopper back up the middle. Throw to first is in time.
It's a nice job there by Gonzalez. It looked like as he made the backhand play there, he tried to get the bag before Iglesias got there, but he missed the bag, but had really good court awareness to finish the play and get the out at first base. I thought for a second there he might have got the bag.
I thought for sure he got the bag.
Ooh, he just didn't get there. Second base umpire right there.
Wow.
You saw the safe call. That would have been a really good double play. We've heard some really positive things about Gonzalez and his defensive skills, and he's having a good year offensively, too.
Top of the order now, Martin, who homered against Kluber in the 6th. Tigers can pick up a pair here with a base hit.
Like Martin trying to hit another one.
You can tell when his swing gets long, can't you?
I can.
415 feet on that last home run in the 6th. And Martin now with 9 home runs this year.
Raise your hand if you had Leonis Martin and Candelario leading the Tigers in home runs on June 10th.
Not me.
You tried to raise your hand.
No, I didn't. I'd like to, but I can't say that I would. I think a lot of us had Castellanos, Cabrera.
Yeah.
Here's the 1-1. Outside 2-1 now on Martin.
Corey has given up a few homers this year. It's because he attacks you. He never backs out of a challenge. He's given up 12 homers, but doesn't give up much more than that. Came into play today in 91 2/3 innings. Look at the home run leaders. 68 hits, Mario, and 10 walks. I mean, that's less than a batter per inning on base.
Belted again, but foul.
That one in the upper tank. But the last time he was up, he didn't hook it. He kept this one fair. It was 93 up top, two-seam fastball that kind of leaked back over into the happy zone of Leonis Martin, and he killed it. 30-degree launching. Anytime you see the exit velocity of 100 miles per hour or more, and you see an exit velocity of 30 degrees, it's going to be a home run.
High and away, 3-2 now on Martin. Well, Kluber now is at 103 in the pitch count. .110 is his high. Got him, strike 3, another caught looking. Martin knew it, just walks back to the bench.
He's got so many weapons. Another caught looking strike.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be. Come to Comerica. Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by Wallside Windows. We can do that. We are the factory. 2 gone now. Here is Castellanos.
And Nicholas Castellanos' last number of days, a steady diet of breaking balls from the Cleveland Indians pitchers, and a lot of them on the first pitch. That time he comes with a fastball at 94.
Switched it up that time. Nick has fanned twice. He's also grounded out.
That's one of his best fastballs of the day at 94. He hasn't been much above that.
High fly ball left field. Ball is carrying a bit, but it's going to die at the warning track into the glove of Melky Cabrera. Tigers get a single, a man on via an error, and they strand 2. The 1-800-CALL-SAM update. There's still some game to be played in this one, but you kind of saw this one coming, and there is some peril in giving Corey Kluber 6 runs and now 9 runs of offense.
Well, you can't give him 6 runs because Corey Kluber, guys, arguably the best right-hander in the game today. He proved it again today against the Tigers.
All right, we'll talk about what made Kluber so tough today and maybe what they gleaned from an Artie Lewicki start here on this Sunday afternoon when Tigers Live comes your way immediately after the conclusion of this one. But now, 9th inning ahead. Up we go to Mario and Ron, gentlemen.
All right, gents, thanks. It is a Wallside Windows pitching change. It'll be Buck Farmer coming on for the Tigers.
And Buck pitched in last night's game and did not fare very well. He walked the first 2 batters that he saw, and Ron Gardenhire went to the mound to get him after that. But he does have a high number of strikeouts this year so far. Buck has walked 17 in very limited action, and he's much better than that. He's got a fastball that gets up to 95. He's got a good breaking ball and a really good changeup.
3-hit game for Lindor as he gets it started here in the 9th for Cleveland.
33 homers last year for the very talented all-star shortstop. He's on pace for about 36 this year. The 33 home runs, a new record for shortstops in Cleveland.
Well, Lindor came in only 2 for 28 in the month of June after a huge month of May, but he has righted the ship today.
Switch hitters have kind of changed, Mario. Remember back in the day, it used to be guys like Chili Davis and Chipper Jones and Bernie Williams and Carlos Beltran, and these guys were big-time power hitters, and they hit the ball at the ballpark. But you have a new generation of switch hitters, led by Ramirez, but you also have Lindor. You have that kid in Atlanta, Ozzie Albies is his name.
Albies, correct.
He's got about 14, 15 home runs. Escobar of the Twins, another short infielder we're going to see, has 12 home runs, I believe. So it's just changed. I mean, the little guys are hitting the ball at the ballpark. None of these guys are 6 feet.
No. And I think Ramirez is a great example of how that position has changed a little bit, or that switch hitting has changed a bit.
And Candelario, it will be a short time before he's on that list. He's got 10 homers. Can't leave him out.
2-2 on Lindor. These were some really big-time switch hitters you were naming there back in the day.
Yeah, yeah. They're all really good players.
Farmer now with the 2-2. Lindor, 2 singles, a double, 2 steals, and 2 runs scored. On a day where the Indians were without Encarnacion and Kipnis in their lineup, they have responded with 9 runs on 14 hits. A little bit outside, 3-2.
First 2 games of the series, Terry Francona had Lindor leading off. He was 0 for 7. He put him in that 4th spot today, and he's been acting like a leadoff hitter. Couple of singles, couple of stolen bases. 2 runs scored.
Flared toward left field. Jacoby on the run, still coming. He'll get there, 1 gone. Here are the upcoming matchups presented by Wallside Windows. Day off tomorrow on Tuesday. Here come the Twins.
Lance Lynn, who we will see on Thursday, he pitched a good game against us when we were there, and he's been pitching good since then. Jose Barrios is one of the best right-handers in the game, and he just came off a complete game shutout his last outing. So Tigers will have their work cut out for him in that series. They'll counter with Hardy, Boyd, and then Michael Fulmer. Looking forward to seeing all 3 of those guys get back out there against Minnesota.
You think if the Tigers had their druthers, they would split up Hardy and Boyd?
Yeah, I think so, because they're so similar. I mean, both guys throw about 90 to 92, and both guys have the other 3 pitches, the curveball, the slider, and the change. And there's a lot of similarities, so most managers would love to have a right-hander in between just to change it up for the opposing hitters. Because basically, if you're the opposing team, you're getting 8, 9 at-bats basically at the same look at 2 different guys.
Right.
And, of course, you could put him in the middle, and, of course, you got Boyd or Hardy, and then you got Fulmer with his 98 to 99. Then you put another left-hander, and then you follow up with Fires. I'm sure at some point in time, whenever the schedule eases up, he can split those guys. I'm sure he'll try to do that.
Yonder Alonso doubled in a run in the second. Indians have never trailed in this game. Swing and a miss, 2-2. Low ball 3 now on Alonso. Full count. Tigers back to within the division here with the Indians and the Twins on this homestand. Little fly ball, shallow right field. It's going to be Goodrum who is out there in short right, 2 gone. Well, after an off day tomorrow, welcome in the Twins back to Comerica Park. Join us on Tuesday night beginning at 6 with Tigers Live right here on Fox Sports Detroit.
And Sano, their big slugging third baseman, is back. We didn't see him earlier this year, but he's healthy again.
Lonnie Chisenhall. Tigers played 2 out of 3 in Minnesota back at the end of May and lost 2 of those games. I should say they played a 3-game series and lost 2. And the Twins returning the trip beginning Tuesday night. Look at that dude.
Yeah.
It's pretty good right there.
Doing the Pee Wee Herman. You remember that, huh?
I do, man. He was awesome. Low and away now, 3-0 on Chisenhall. Farmer came on here in the 9th. He's recorded 2 outs. Tigers in the bottom of the 9th will have Cabrera, Candelario, and Martinez. And he missed it outside, ball 4 to Chisenhall, who's on base for the 4th time. Here's Melky Cabrera. Big day for Cabrera. 2 sac flies, single, a double. Knocked in 3 today.
And good velocity on the fastball. And by Buck, 93 to 95.
Now the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, 1-2 on Cabrera.
There's that good changeup that he features. He'll throw that changeup to righties too. That's how good it is.
Off the plate, 2-2. Farmer, another one of those Tigers we're talking about Verhagen earlier today that was a starter in the minor leagues, got to the big leagues, and has kind of settled into a relief role now. I still remember that start he made last year where he was dominant against the White Sox.
Yep, 11 strikeouts.
Yeah. Now he's gone 3-2. Gomes on deck. Fouled away.
Nice pickup here by the Tribe, Mario, because what it does is it protects them if they have any injuries. They had an injury to Bradley Zimmer. And Zimmer does stay hurt often, although he's not in the big league team. He'll be back before it's all said and done. But Melky provides a good batter off the bench, a switch hitter. Guy can pinch hit, a little power, defense as well. It's a nice pickup.
You know what else it does? It allows Terry Francona to DH Michael Brantley as well. They try and keep him healthy.
Yep, can rest him on occasion. I know that's probably hard for Terry to do, take Brantley out of the lineup as good as he's been.
Popped up third base side, Candelario. And that will end the inning. No runs, they get a walk, and one man left. We go to the bottom of the ninth. Well, a special weekend coming to a close here at Comerica Park. Willie Horton Legacy Award presented to Torrey Hunter before the game today. Hunter spent only a couple of years here in Detroit, but 2 memorable years. And what a great wrap-up. There's Jake Wood also giving Torrey a hug. What a great wrap-up to the weekend.
It really was. And I mean, couldn't think of anybody that deserved that award any more than Torrey Hunter.
So Miguel Cabrera leads it off as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning.
So Torrey's been honored by 2 different organizations. The Minnesota Twins have honored him, and now the Tigers, and probably the Angels will be next, especially the kind of impact that he's had on Mike Trout.
Yeah, no doubt. Got a new pitcher now to Wallside Windows. Pitching change. Tomlin coming out here to throw the last inning.
Yeah, Tomlin with a 7.43 earned run average, not in the rotation these days. Finds himself pitching out of the bullpen.
Cabrera strikes out. He is 0 for 4, 1 gone. It'll bring him Candelario. You know, with all the starting pitching the Indians have in their current rotation, even Danny Salazar with a great arm has been injured.
Right.
It's another arm they had. Here's ball 1.
But the front 4 they have are really good. I mean, we put up some numbers yesterday on Bauer and Clevenger and Carrasco and Kluber. And all 4 are on pace to surpass 200 innings pitched this year, which is rare. I mean, there are only a handful of guys in the majors last year that pitched more than 200 innings.
Carrasco wants to hit.
Carrasco has a lot of fun in the dugout. I watch some of their games, especially when we're getting ready to play them. And he always takes the microphone from their sideline reporter. Andre Knott, I believe is his name. And he starts to do play-by-play. He does. He will take it and he'll do a whole inning. He'll do some in Spanish. He'll do some in English. They have a lot of fun doing it. Who's he mimicking right now?
I don't know. Whose stance is that?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out.
Candy is caught looking, didn't like it. Tomlin gets a strikeout. Candelario letting Adrian Johnson know about it.
Man, that is about 7 strikeouts today by the Tigers looking. That is unusual. You don't ever see that many.
7 of the 10 total.
Oh, now he's got Victor Martinez. You have fun when you win, don't you?
Yep. When it's 9-2 in your favor, you tend to smile.
They're headed to Chicago, too. They have a night in Chicago to have some fun.
A little roller toward the right side, gobbled up by Lindor.
They're going to get into Chicago early, too.
And that'll do it. Indians behind Corey Kluber win today 9-2. Now we'll send you to the Colsam Studios. John Keating, Craig Monroe standing by with Tigers Live game.
Well, that's not what we were planning, Mario. Thank you. But coming up on Tigers Live, it was all about the clout, and it was all Cleveland's today. Leonis Martin providing that which the Tigers had, but not enough of it against the likes of Corey Kluber. We'll get some perspective on all of this from Ron Gardenhire, who is very much looking forward to the day off tomorrow. Tigers Live with Craig Monroe and myself starts moments from now here on Fox Sports Detroit.